Hello, everybody. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. This week, they were digging in front of Home Depot store in that draw right there. And that reminded me of this recorded phone call I recorded 7 years ago. I made it into a video called Million Dollar Underground Homes. And this woman mentions a draw in that video, and with a whole bunch of details about the underground homes that had been confirmed by other people. And here, I'll just listen to a part of that right here.
You know, you live near a draw, right?
Yeah, pretty close. You live near a draw, right? And see, they're digging in a draw right there. That's why I thought about it. But then I did a little write up on some of the things that she mentioned in there, and I'm gonna go over them. One of them here. Okay, I want to show you. She mentions a town near Hobbs that starts with an A. Okay, that would be Artesia, New Mexico. And I did a Facebook post here in 2019 called Artesia, New Mexico Suspects, August 15th, based on that in Artesia. Town near Hobbs starts with an A. And then about 4 hours later, Mike Pence says that he's going to travel to the tiny town of Artesia. You see it, to visit Artesia, and I had already suspected that Pence had taken a bribe. He had been here in Midland. Right here, Pence had been here in Midland meeting oil company executives. He's an oil rig right there, and I wondered if they had offered him a bribe to cover up the oil show party murders, and that's why he went to Artesia, New Mexico. And when I say that, here in my backyard's where it's believed one of the underground homes is, and that's where I was told the oil show parties go. Tisha Brumley says her sister used to go to the oil show parties. They were held in the underground homes, okay? And so, that was one thing that in this video here, we're going to listen to in a minute. Another thing here, Layla Obrian, CAD programmer out of Houston, told me that she worked on this project, $7.35 million. It was called the Safe House Project. It was put in for the Bushes, finished in 1987. The Bushes are from Midland, as in the presidents, okay? And here was Layla, everything she said checked out. Here was her LinkedIn. She was a CAD programmer, just like she said. She worked for PBK, just like she said. That was the company that she said she worked for that put in this underground safe house project for the Bushes. And so all that should be checked out, could be checked out. And then a woman, Julia, drove down from Dallas to try to get the permits, and she told me, she says, when I asked him, James Rawls with the city of Midland, about the permit records for storm shelters in Midland, he with a smile told me that all of the permit records prior to 2015 had been destroyed or lost. Okay, so they were accidentally destroyed, all the permit records, and Layla's the one that says, yeah, it was cost on permit $7.35 million. Well, that checks out with this phone call. She says, yeah, each of them houses cost over $1 million. That's why I put it in there. Judy Chris here, I got a print screen. She says, well, it was built, they said it was salt vaults for storage of oil, but if you talk to teenagers that help work on them, they said it was houses. Well, that's what this lady said. She said, yeah, there were homes, 3-bedroom underground homes. You're going to listen to that in a minute. Also mentioned the bunker post, okay? Because she said he was calling them bunkers, and I said, well, I noticed that in the protective order hearing in 2013, how the DEA, even my attorney, they kept saying bunkers. This is the transcript of that, of their language. Well, I'd never even thought about bunkers, but you know what an underground home is? It's a bunker, Did you see people living in the bunkers, And since then, I've had multiple people that are lifelong people from Midland say, y'all have heard about the bunkers all my life, And Buddy's the one that didn't hear about it, and I'm the one dodging bullets, right? Well, actually, I'm catching bullets, instead of dodging them. She mentions the mob and the mafia on that phone call. Well, Aaron Packahofer here, he's the guy that tells me, he says, can I ask you, there were 4 people murdered, died in your house. What are their names? Well, Aaron's friend, Lisa Frisk, she goes on and says, Aaron, invite Buddy to one of your Mason meetings. She's making sure that I know that he's a Mason in Midland. And she mentions Mesa and different things on this phone call. You'll hear that in a minute, okay? And the mob was mentioned. This woman here, Holly Yuri, she sends me a picture of this supposed mobster. I wouldn't recognize him for sure. Said it was Lucky Luciano, friends of their family. She was from Ohio, a mob-run town. Put it this way, one of my friend's father is Raymond Patricchio, and maybe that's Raymond Patricchio. I don't know who it is, but I know when she first contacted me, she said, I have a message for you from the mob. And I told her, I said, the FBI mentioned the mob, and my dad also mentioned the mob, you know. The woman talks about pizza parties, you know, and I said, well, you know, I reminded me of this woman here, said that she was a former escort. She went to the old show parties, and she says she was 16 and 17 around the 2010 old show parties, and they would prefer us younger girls other than the elder women there. Okay, so that was confirming the underground, you know, pizza parties. So basically everything this woman was telling me was checking out. She also mentioned Haley Dunn. This is pictures of Haley's mom here. I found out that she was a stripper in there. It makes sense that all of the strippers would be you know, going to the old show parties. And then this one woman told me that she was taking Haley. Here's a picture. This was 2 days before Haley was reported missing. And that shows Billy and Haley. She's just a little girl, you know. And here Janice Freeman Driver says, I heard that about from Billy from a reliable source, and that Haley was going with her as well, but staying in the dressing room while Billy Dunn worked the stripper pole. Okay, and so that was just more confirmation of what this woman said. Now we're going to listen to this phone call.
You know, I had the nerve to walk up to a man, you know, thought the vibes were right, brought up, you know, talking about Freemasons and things like that. You know, he said he was born and raised here in Midland.
Mm-hmm.
Your name pops up.
Oh, right. He brings it up?
He knows you. Okay, is there a place near Hobbs called Ass? Oh, man. I didn't even know exactly the name of it. It started with an A and an S.
Like a town?
Yeah, near Hobbs, New Mexico. I can't remember it. This is why I was like really hoping you'd call soon too, because this happened like just last night. I just woke up because I have class here in like an hour or so.
Okay, yeah.
You know, he was telling me also how the buildings underground that he was talking about, it was not 1 million, it was actually 4, and they're actually homes.
That are underground?
3-bedroom. Yes, they're 3-bedroom homes.
Wow.
He knew things about Haley Dunn. He knew things about you. He said that, no, not Albuquerque. He said that, you know, all this turmoil that is going against you is because you know too much. You have too many ties.
Mm-hmm. And
you know,
I'm sitting right on top of it too. You know, that's the other side of it. You know, I'm trying to think when you talk about.
Yes.
You know,
you live near a draw, right?
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, it is pretty close to a draw.
He even knew things like this. I'm like, this is too crazy. This is too much. Like, I couldn't even believe it. But no, this man was, okay, he was drinking last night. That's the thing. So I was able to, you know, get things out of him. But, I mean, this man really does know a lot, too, honestly.
Right. And that's pretty incredible. I'm trying to think, you know, just based on what you said, there's Aspen, New Mexico, but that's really not close, you know. It just fits what you said, you know.
No, I'm not sure it was that. It may be, it sounds close, but I don't think it was exactly.
Yeah, and like I said, Aspen is way up in North New Mexico, so it's a long ways from here. And So I don't, you know, and I really don't got nothing as far as what that town that you're talking about. And
yeah, I'm gonna have to.
I'll tell you what, or you check on the map, because there's not a lot of towns around here. You know what I mean? It's just sparsely populated, and so there's only a handful, and really none of them fit that name or whatever, but. You know, I did a Facebook post recently called Bunkers, and it was something that I noticed that was brought up in court by the by the district attorney and even my attorney. They use that term bunkers, and they used it like 4 different times. Well, I had never even thought of bunkers, and I had never used the word bunker or even said bunkers.
Yeah.
But they're sitting there calling it bunkers, and which I'm thinking they already knew what it was. You know what I mean? That these are bunkers.
I see.
And that's why they were. It was more a Freudian slip, you know, and so they but that's more information than anybody's ever said. To tell me that there's, what would you say? There's 3 underground.
4.
Oh, 4 underground.
4.
Houses or whatever, and
Yes. Where's each at? They're all in total $4 million.
$4 million, and see, that's what the first person, which was the ex-wife, she's the first person. She says, well, if there is an underground facility, it would cost millions of dollars, and these people wouldn't want to give that up. That's exactly what she said and how she said it, you know. And
he couldn't tell me too much, you know. He said that there's too many rituals. It's all very spiritual, you know, to be initiated into this brotherhood, and so he couldn't go too in depth with it. But you know, his great grandfather was a knight, so he was able to give me some insight into it. But it's just, you know, it's very intricate stuff he was talking about, and it's crazy. You know, I was asking him if there was any way he could use me or utilize me in any way, you know, and he's just like, let me just talk to my uncle. But you know, like I'm willing. I'm down for the cause. You know what I mean? I want to know more. This is a town I was born and raised in, and it's just this shouldn't happen here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Everywhere is corrupt.
Exactly. I mean, what's going on here is just over the top, horrific corruption. I mean, it's you know, unprecedented, unheard of. You know, and. You know, I heard Trump use the term Nazi Germany. That's what I've used that same term before, because that's the only thing I can compare it to. They stopped free press to murder one homeowner after the next. You know, they're cutting body parts off people, and there's proof posted in public, and the press won't report it. You know, this is not.
I even asked him. I asked him about the pizza parties. They said they're not called pizza parties, but I know what you're talking about.
Right. The pedophile parties.
Yes.
And see, a couple weeks, you probably read all this before, but a couple weeks after I got out of the hospital, that ex-wife comes by my home, and she says, you don't know how many lives you ruined with your idiocy. And of course, my idiocy was staying home and minding my own business. You know, I'm shot inside my home. And but what she was saying was a lot of people were here, and they're going to have their lives ruined. And
do you know about how many feet that gun pushed through? How much ground it was? Because he said that these houses are 25 feet under, at least 25 exactly.
Ah, okay. Well, see, and that's great information, because I've never known how deep this was or could be. You know what I'm saying? And so you actually have to, you know. I tell you, it's like I've drilled holes through my slab concrete before, and you know, and I hit dirt or whatever, and just here and there trying to find it, but not knowing if the underground part is just right underneath the slab of my concrete, or like you said, if it's 25 foot down.
By the dam.
Yeah, if
it's by your dam.
Huh?
He said it is by your dam. By your dam. Those are his words.
By my den?
He said that the mob knows too much, that you're tied into too much. That is exactly what they said. I said, the mob, you mean the secret police? He said, yes, same difference. Right,
which it is. And, you know, and see, you know, when you bring up the mob, that's where I've got several stories about that. One, an FBI agent mentioned the mob. Okay, actually, 2 FBI agents mentioned the mob, and my dad mentioned the mob. So that was 3 people mentioned the mob. And then I have a woman from Ohio that friended me and contacted me on Facebook. And she writes me and she says, I have a message for you from the mob. you know. And she sends me this picture of her and the great grandson of Lucky Luciano or something, you know. And of course I'm like,